Reborn as a snake, turning into a dragon. Chapter 91. King Chengqing walked into the small palace. The palace was actually empty, without any decorations. It is a completely empty temple. It shouldn't be like this, Xuangui miscalculated. Chengqing Wang's face was a little livid, if Liamu Jinyi hadn't been imprisoned here. It was a very troublesome thing for him. Where is the King of Gold? King Chengqing called out. There was no response after a few beeps. Looking around again, it was empty, and a bad premonition faintly appeared in my heart. It's empty here. Am I really in the wrong place? Just as Chengqing Wang was about to leave, there was a sound of iron chains hitting. Who is calling me? A shrill voice sounded out of nowhere, like a ghost. Wang Chengqing's light flashed, and he suddenly looked towards the top of the small hall. I saw an iron cage made of black iron hanging on the top of the hall. The iron cage is clever and delicate. Inside was a small, mink-like creature that was imprisoned. The whole body is wrapped in golden hair, which is very eye-catching. King Chengqing was immediately pleasantly surprised. Six-eyed Jinyi, I finally let this king find you. The golden-haired mob in the iron cage opened his eyes, which instantly turned blood red. 587 was filled with a terrible killing spirit, and the evil spirit spread all over the world in an instant. Who are you and why are you looking for me? Wang Chengqing said. I am the demon king of Tianxing Mountain, and I came here specially to rescue you this time. After saying a word, he swiped his palm upwards like a knife. The chain shattered. The iron cage fell into the hands of King Chengqing. Let's go out and talk later. King Chengqing left the small palace and found the weakest point in the corner of the prison wall. Blast away with a fist, ready to run away. But who would have thought that the moment the prison was damaged, the siren sounded shockingly, and in an instant, it spread throughout the entire demon slayer. King Chengqing became horrified, and said to the iron cage, I'm out of my body, I'm afraid I can only help you here. Whether you can escape from the capital depends on your own good luck. If you escape, remember that there is a real dragon in Wolongtan, Tianxing Mountain. After finishing speaking, he threw the iron cage towards the outside fiercely, and then slapped a terrifying palm. The cage made a black iron shot towards the sky of Kyoto. After doing all this, King Chengqing shone with light all over his body, got into the ground and disappeared. And now it's gone in just a few breaths. There are 3 streamers of light shooting from the outside, manifesting in front of this prison hole. The people who manifested are all top demon slayer masters. The first one is the 3rd-rank mirror envoy, wearing a flying fish suit, with a goldfish bag hanging on his waist, and his breath is like an abyss. As soon as he appeared, he glanced at the big hole, and then shot into it. The second one is the current Taoist master, holding a sword in his hand, his eyes are like lightning, and he is a first-class swordsman today. The third one is a Buddhist eminent monk, holding a string of golden beads, and the Dharma is profound. It was this eminent monk who used the golden bell cover to block a thunder of the 9 gods before the god of Beishan Yunhu Lake turned into a dragon. The demonic aura here is so heavy, it must be the demon king deep in the Tianxing Mountains. Taoist masters can see through it at a glance. Amitabha, there is still the power of the soul. I don't know which demon king has such courage, dare to come out of the body to kill the demon master and rob prison. Immediately, the astonished voice of the 3rd-grade mirror envoy sounded from inside. No, the one who robbed was the 6-eyed golden beast, something serious happened. The faces of Taoist masters and Buddhist monks changed suddenly at the same time. The 6-eyed golden beast is a peerless monster. After the founding of the Ming dynasty, it was suppressed in the prison of Zhanyao. This is top secret and very few people know about it. Hurry up. Swish swish. The 3 top masters shot towards the prison hole and turned into streamers. Boom boom boom. At this time, the Buddha bell hanging on the 33rd floor of Demon Slayer Division rang loudly. Ring the bell to warn. The bell keeper knew something serious was going on, opened his clairvoyance, and looked around every corner of Kyoto with a golden light. Check out the evil spirits. Soon, his clairvoyance tracked a bloody evil aura, like a sea of moving corpses. My God, what a strong evil spirit, what kind of monster is that? Take a deep look. Ah, my eyes are useless. The bell keeper screamed in the next second, bleeding from 7 holes. He tilted his body and fell directly from the 33rd floor. Wei Shuzun from the general office came out frowning, and said quietly, Six-eyed Jinni still has a day to be reborn, it's really troublesome. Immediately, an overwhelming voice came out. Six-eyed Jinji, get out of here obediently, you can't escape from Kyoto. Tisk tisk tisk. Little capital, how can I be trapped by this devil, just wait and see. A hideous voice came from all directions. In fact, that steaming smoke is flowing honey in Kyoto. HMPH, back then you were captured by the deity himself and imprisoned in the prison of the demon slayer. Now you don't even have the qualifications for the deity to take action. Hoshin mirror. Wei Shuzun spat out the words coldly. I saw a gap in the sky in Kyoto. A divine light shone down. It just happened to shine on the fleeing evil spirit, and it couldn't hide. Catch it back, Wei Shuzun said flatly. Immediately, countless powerful auras erupted from the demon slayer, swishing towards that evil aura. Afterwards Wei Shuzun stopped paying attention, and instead became meditative. The monsters in Tianxing Mountain are getting more and more courageous, and dare to come to rob the prison. I am lenient to that dragon, but it does not mean that I will start to become a vegetarian. After a thought, he was already planning a large-scale demon-slaying operation. However, at this moment, a sharp voice appeared. Mingzan Emperor has a decree to invite Wei Shuzun to enter the palace to face the saint. Minister leads the decree. Wei Shuzun lost all domineering aura and smiled wryly. The peerless monster who was imprisoned in the Demon Slayer division escaped and fled around the capital. This is not a small crime. Naturally, he was the one to carry the blame. It would be fine if Liamu Jinyi was captured again. If you can't catch it back, let it escape, and bring disaster to the common people from now on. Then Wei Shuzun will face a steady stream of troubles. For Shanxi Chungwang Temple, Immortal Elder, the six-eyed golden beast has escaped from the prison, shall we just watch it like this? A third-rank official asked anxiously. Now in Kyoto, under the Hoshin mirror, the six-eyed golden beast has nowhere to hide. Where to escape, where to shine? The city god said quietly. The monsters in the world are not my responsibility. If we ghosts and gods intervene, and the six-eyed golden beast escapes in the end, I am afraid that the demon slayer will bite back. Many chief officials nodded and stayed out of the matter, at least it would not be Gong Shanxi's turn to carry any blame. However, some ghosts and gods feel that this is too stable. Expressed different views. Immortal Elder, the six-eyed Jinni has been secretly imprisoned for nearly 1,000 years, and there is no 1 in 10 of his strength. We don't want the credit for this door-to-door. Isn't it a pity? Just fight with the demon slayer. Let's see who can catch Liamu Jinji back in the end. City god shook his head, his eyes flickered, and he said faintly, I can make a move for Shanxi, but I don't want to catch it. Not caught. All the ghosts and gods in the hall looked at the city god in shock. Immortal Elder, what do you mean? The shot is not to catch, so it's impossible to help the six-eyed golden beast to escape. However, the city god replied, six-eyed golden beast, with the blood of ancient fierce beasts, is born ferocious and has a good temperament. He likes to feed on dragons. If he learns about dragon blood, he will be promoted if he devours them. As soon as these words came out, the ghost Shendu in the entire hall seemed to be petrified, and the atmosphere at the scene became weird. Needle drop can be heard. Immortal impossible. Zhongli, a third-rank judge, stood out in a purple robe, staring angrily, and said, the six-eyed golden beast is also a fierce beast, and an evil thing. The immortal chief wants to get rid of the dragon in Wolongtan. We all understand, but you can't use this method. Law. Huh, why not? The city god stared at the bell that jumped out and said, whether it's the six-eyed golden dragon or the dragon, they are all aliens against the imperial court. Why not let them kill each other? Wouldn't it be easy? The immortal elder also said just now that the six-eyed Jinni likes to feed on dragons and eat them to advance. If his bloodline is allowed to break through, it will be a great misfortune for the common people. Judge Zhang's words are pearls. Well, Judge Zhang is right, but the deity didn't say anything. It is naturally the best that the demon slayer can capture the six-eyed golden beast again. If unfortunately he escapes, it is a certainty. City god took a deep look at Zhongli and said quietly, escape. In fact, anyone with a discerning eye knows that it is impossible for Liamu Jinyi to escape from the capital. With the Hoshin mirror on top, the demon-slaying masters came out in full force, a surviving person who had been imprisoned for nearly 1,000 years. What to take to escape? 4.9. Everyone, no matter what the result is, the six-eyed golden lion is a matter of killing the demon master. Let's all perform our duties. City god said a word and disappeared. Zhongli looked at the direction in which the city god disappeared, and vaguely felt that it would not be easily interrupted by his own words. But after all, it is no more than a third-rank judge, and cannot influence the first-rank righteous god, city god. Time flies. In a barren area of the capital, a group of evil spirits were cornered by a group of master demon slayers. The evil spirit manifested its original shape and turned into a monster more than 10 feet high. The monster stands proudly, its body is red all over, and it has a shape. On the top of the head stands a crescent-like unicorn proudly, and the blue eyes flash fiercely. There is a strange eye blinking on its unicorn, 2 eyes on its face, and 3 eyes in a triangle shape on its chest. The whole appearance is very fierce and terrifying. Six-eyed Jinji, you can't escape, just obediently grab it with your arms tied. The Taoist master pointed his sword obliquely and shouted angrily. Amitabha, since he is a monster, he shouldn't reappear in the world, so as to avoid the loss of life. The six-eyed golden lion licked his big mouth, full of greed. Just relying on you, you are not qualified to keep me. After all, a big battle is about to break out. Six-eyed Jinyi has a fierce reputation, even though he has been imprisoned for nearly 1,000 years. In fact, no one underestimated. Surrounded by layers of demon slayer masters, all kinds of powerful auras were released. A super coercive pressure was formed, pressing on Luzi Jinmao. Evil barrier, eat me with a sword. Taoist masters took the lead in launching the attack. Suddenly shouted loudly, like rushing thunder, a pair of eyes burst into 2 mountain gods. I saw the sword in my hand seemed to be awakened, and the sound of sword chant was loud and clear. Immediately, a terrifying sword glow slashed away in the dark, and the space along the way twisted. Amitabha, son of the Buddha. The Buddhist eminent monk held the Buddhist beads and said lightly. I saw a Buddha's palm descending from the sky, filled with Sanskrit sounds, pressing down on the six-eyed golden dragon. Just like the 5 fingers mountain of the Tathagata Buddha. If you are under pressure, you will be suppressed. Look at my supernatural powers. Unwilling to be resigned to others, a master demon slayer opened his mouth and spit out a streak of purple light. While the light was hot, its lethality was even more astonishing. This is a natal supernatural power. Humans are good at martial arts, and they are also cultivating immortals, and their systems are even more diverse. 07L. The six-eyed golden dragon was hit by various attacks 08, and he roared to the sky. Blood was bleeding from his body, the blood was green and had a foul smell. Hey, hateful human race, you all deserve to die. Its eyes became blood red, and it was full of murderous aura. I saw the strange eyes on the six-eyed golden dragon's single horn shining fiercely. The light in the eyes is real for an instant, whoosh. A series of quiet light burst out. Immediately afterwards, the 2 eyes on its face and the 3 eyes on its chest all awakened. A beam of pupil light shot out, shocking the sky. Be careful everyone. The major masters forced back again and again. Don't dare to try the law by yourself. HMPH, let's see how long you are tenacious. Daomen masters cut out sword lights one after another, extremely sharp. Ling Kai with a sword. Other masters also wanted to make a quick decision and began to use unique moves. All of a sudden, the world was turned upside down. The six-eyed golden beast screamed miserably. It was chased and intercepted just after it got out of prison, and it didn't even have a chance to recover its strength. Now being surrounded and beaten by master demon slayers. I can't stand it at all. Gradually, it was beaten to the ground. Damn human beings, as long as this seat has the 3 successes of the heyday, you will all die without a place to bury you. HMPH, in your heyday, what about your 10th level of skill back then? You were caught and imprisoned in the prison of the demon slayer. Boom boom boom. All kinds of terrorist attacks hit Liamu Jinyi. Six-eyed Jinyi was taken back, and there is no difference. Even the deity of Liamu Jinyan began to despair. I complained in my heart, that damned bastard, save myself, don't care. You must know that escaping from Kyoto is much more difficult than escaping from prison. Suddenly, at this moment, a terrifying beam of light shot from the sky. The light beam contains enough power to shake the world. Not good. The master monster slayer felt a sense of crisis, and in an instant, all retreated more than 10 feet. Boom. Thick smoke billowed, and the ground shook. After a while, the six-eyed golden beast disappeared without a trace. Ran. Where was the sacred shot just now, to save Liamu Jinmao? Can't run. Hooshin Mirror is on top. However, everyone later discovered to their astonishment that a thick cloud blocked the divine light of Hooshin Mirror. Without the lock of the Hooshin Mirror, it is difficult to find the trace of Yinmujin. It's troublesome. Please search quickly. You must not let the six-eyed golden dragon escape from the capital, otherwise you will definitely die. Swish swish. All the masters turned into afterimages. After a whole day and night. Demon Slayer headquarters. Ran. Wei Shuzun came back from the palace and was very surprised to hear the news. According to his arrangement, with the Hooshin Mirror on top, the six-eyed golden beast can't escape even with its wings. In addition, the masters of demon slaying are not just for nothing, they also have the help of masters of Taoism and Buddhism. The fact that the six-eyed golden dragon, who was barely alive, was able to escape was simply a joke in the world. How did you escape? This deity needs to know the details. When Wei Shuzun knew all the details, he said with a sullen face, "You said that a hidden strong man broke up your siege, and even used great supernatural powers to cover up the Hooshin Mirror, which made the sixth self panorama jump Tianqing. HMPH. First the demon king Yuanshan of Tianqing Mountain came out of his body to rob the prison, and then a hidden strongman came to help him. This six-eyed golden beast has been imprisoned for nearly 1,000 years. I didn't expect so many people to miss it. Who is the hidden strong man?" Wei Shuzun fell into thought and then glanced at the sky. In the depths of the sky, a ray of light condenses and shoots in an instant. Wei Shuzun raised his head to receive it, and what manifested was an ancient mirror glowing with divine light. This mirror is full of brilliance and contains awe-inspiring power. The Hooshin Mirror is an ancient top-grade magic weapon. Wei Yan usually hangs it directly in the sky, and has never taken it down for hundreds of years. At this time, the mirror surface of the Hooshin Mirror was atomized by a stream of gas, and the sun was hazy. Ghost spirit. Wei Yan was shocked. This result never expected him. Immediately, his eyes flickered, as if he could see clearly. Even guessed a 7788 out. Then Yu raised his head and glanced in the direction of Gongshan. Why so? 520. Inside the main hall of Chungwang Temple. Ghosts and gods gathered. Judge Zhang in a purple robe stood up, looked at the aloof city god and said, "Immortal chief, the six-eyed Jinni escaped from the capital last night, I don't know if you know about it." The city god pretended to be surprised. The demon slayers are not as good as the previous ones. Wei Yan sacrificed the Hooshin Mirror, and they can still let the six-eyed golden beast escape. It's outrageous. It is said that there was a hidden powerhouse of the second rank or higher who helped the six-eyed golden beast out of trouble, and even deceived the Hooshin Mirror. Zhongli's pupils stared at City God. Oh, second grade. City God saw Zhongli's eyes were different, and smiled slightly. Could it be that Judge Zhang is suspicious of this deity? Officials dare not. The lower official just wanted to say that Liamu Jinni escaped from Kyoto and went to the suburbs. There are thousands of villages in the suburbs. The best way for Liamu Jinni to restore his strength as soon as possible is to devour people, and then the people in these thousands of villages will probably lead to a catastrophe. The city god said indifferently. The six-eyed golden beast has dragons to eat, so I don't look down on ordinary creatures anymore, and I will definitely go straight to Tianqing Mountain. If you don't recover your strength, what kind of dragon will the six-eyed golden lion have? Zhongli is right in the language. This city god was startled for a moment, but froze in place. What to eat dragon? What to eat dragon? A few simple words have been echoing in the mind of city god. Lingering. Seeing Chungwang's reaction like this, Zhongli seemed to verify a certain idea in his heart. Then he said, "Speaking of 1,000 words and 10,000, even if the six-eyed golden dragon went directly to Tianqing Mountain, there are 2 real dragons in Tianqing Mountain. If you go to Yunhu Lake in Beishan, the fighting power of that lake god is really mediocre." Quote. As a real dragon supported by the court, it is like a flower in a greenhouse. It is unbearable to be destroyed. If the six-eyed golden beast is promoted by devouring the dragon, no one will be able to suppress it at that point. Judge Zhongli has a clear method and considers it from 2 aspects. Whether it is the six-eyed golden beast eating people in the suburbs, or going to the Bashan Yunhu Lake, it is a disaster for the common people. In the end, it was Liamu Jinyi who went to Wolongtan without thinking. It turned out to be the best result. Everyone in the world knows that the real dragon in Wolongtan possesses the might of a heavenly dragon, Weidchen. It went from being promoted to the Snake King, to crossing the calamity, and then ascending to the gate of heaven and transforming into a dragon. There was no moisture in the whole process, and the combat effectiveness was amazing. As long as Liamu Jinyan is not stupid, he will not be tough. Besides, when the strength is not enough, it is natural to find a soft persimmon to pinch. After Zhongli finished speaking, the ghost Shendu in the city god's hall fell silent. The expression on his face flickered, and he nodded from time to time. Obviously, Zhongli's judgment has been recognized by everyone. If anyone was a six-eyed golden beast, he would eat people first and then dragons. And the one that devoured first must be the one of Bashan Yun. The complexion of the aloof city god kept changing, as if he had been touched on a sore spot. He knew he might have made a low-level mistake. However, the six-eyed golden beast has already escaped, and it is useless to say anything. We can only try to protect the safety of the people in the suburbs first. Pass down the decree of the deity. Order the 4 judges, the chief officials of the 24 routes, the generals of the 8 side halls, and all the ghosts and gods, to go to the suburbs, arrest the six-eyed golden beast, and prevent the common people from suffering. Difficult. All the ghosts and gods stood up, with serious expressions on their faces, and said in a loud voice, "Respect the immortals and the elders." But in the dark, everyone knows it. This is just an attitude put forth by Gong Shanxi. Six-eyed Jinyi had already escaped, and it was impossible to catch him again. Even if it is to catch, it is to kill the demon division, not to sacrifice to the immortal division. City god suddenly added another sentence. Send someone to notify the lake god of Bashan Yunhu to let him hide first. After the meeting, Zhongli came to an empty hall alone, and carefully observed that there was no one around. He saw a thin blood-red snake emerge from the cuff of its purple robe. But the length of a chopstick, the whole body is smooth and crystal clear. The thin snake rolled around Zhongli's index finger, hissing. The little snake's eyes flickered brightly. It's an emergency. You go back and inform the master that the six-eyed golden lion is already in the suburbs, and may go to Wolongtan. People must be careful. After Zhongli said the first sentence, he hesitated for a moment and said, "If possible, master, please take advantage of Liamu Jinyi's current weakness and take the initiative to attack. By the way, there is another sentence. The six-eyed golden lion feeds on dragons. This sentence must be brought along." Hiss. The blood-red snake roared in dissatisfaction, as if blaming him for talking too much. Afterwards, the little body bowed and stretched out like a sword and crossbow. Quietly. Suburban boundaries. A cloud of evil spirits swept over like wolf smoke. Then manifested a six-eyed monster more than 10 feet tall. The monster was covered with wounds and had a weak breath, but it had a ferocious smile on its face. Jia Jia Jia. Finally let me escape from birth. God treats me well. It took a deep breath, and there was a hint of sweetness in the air. Looking around, there are many villages and villages in the vast land, filled with the smoke of life. However, in the eyes of Liamu Jinyi, those villages are all delicious places. All are delicious flesh and blood. The Guangqi is full of greed and bloodthirsty. That kind of bloodlust must have been suppressed for nearly 1,000 years. In this way, it can finally be completely released. Jia Jia Jia, hateful human race, hateful monster slayer, I will definitely avenge you for shutting me down for thousands of years, and now I will collect a little interest from your people. After it finished speaking, it transformed into a mass of terrifying evil spirit again. Swirling and sweeping towards the nearest village. Everywhere they went, trees were uprooted and walls pushed down. As long as this group of evil spirits rotates into the village and then rolls out, there will be a whole village. There is no breath of life. But this group of evil spirits became larger and larger, full of violent bloody smell. 1 village, 2 villages, 3 villages. In just a few hours, there were no humans or animals in more than a dozen villages in the suburbs, and no one survived. Not long after, a puff of smoke rose in front of a village that had been destroyed. A white-haired old man who is 2 feet tall manifests. Seeing the tragic situation in front of him, the land god holding a cane immediately cried out, "It's ruined, damn it, the six-eyed golden beast, it's that bastard who killed 1,000 swords that let you out. How can this be good? How can this be good?" The land god was in a state of disarray, and such a tragedy of extinction had not happened for many, many years. Usually, even if there are monsters in the village, and there are ghosts who come to ask for their lives, but these are only isolated cases. It's all just a little fuss. There are demon-slaying divisions and Gongxian divisions who sit in charge of the world's demons, cats in Weidai Mountain. Even if he wanted to harm someone, he would not be so unscrupulous. The ghosts and the Ming court had long formed a tacit understanding. Now, the once excellent world murderer, Weishan Jinyi, has been released. Originally ferocious and imprisoned for thousands of years, the resentment in his heart is worse than that of ghosts that have been around for thousands of years. It acts without looking at anyone's face. Who can quickly collect the six-eyed golden beast? Let this beast go for a day, and the harm to the common people will be even greater. The land anxiously followed the ants on the hot pot and circled around in place. Suddenly, the land god saw a wave of resentment in the extinct village. Under the resentment, there is a looming figure solidifying. It's not good. The innocent people suffer the disaster of being wiped out. After death, they will feel unwilling and easily turn into ghosts with resentment. I need to report to the capital as soon as possible. The imperial court needs to send a large number of Buddhist monks to the suburbs to pray for salvation. Otherwise, the six-eyed golden beast has not been eliminated, and the 100 ghosts will travel at night. The land god murmured a few words and disappeared in an instant. As for the six-eyed golden beast, it is not that it can deal with it. After the land god disappeared, a large number of flying fish guards with knives flooded into the suburbs. All of them were murderous and their swords were on the verge of breaking out. "Brothers, Wei Shuzun has spoken. We must arrest Liamu Jinji as soon as possible, and if we really can't catch him, we must try our best to drive Liamu Jinji to Tianxing Mountain. In a word, the six-eyed golden lion must not be allowed to cause trouble in the suburbs. Every time a commoner dies, these accounts will eventually be counted on the head of my monster killer. The spittle of the world will drown us." Some guards were puzzled. "Sir, why did you drive Liamu Jinji to Tianxing Mountain? Shouldn't the entrance of Tianxing Mountain be sealed? If Liamu Jinji enters Tianxing Mountain, we will not arrest him. Possible. What do you know? The First Lord has his own intentions. The six-eyed golden lion is now a hungry wolf, only knows how to gobble it up. Stay in the suburbs, the harm is too great. Drive it to Tianxing Mountain. What it eats are monsters, let them kill each other. Didn't everyone say that the six-eyed golden beast eats the dragon and gets promoted? What will happen if he eats the dragon? There are so many words, we will do what the above say. Remember, catch if you can't catch it." As time went by, more and more guards came to the suburbs, and even a lot of senior citizens poured in. The six-eyed golden beast is a peerless monster, and the harm of 717 needs no words. But in just half a day, dozens of villages in the suburbs were slaughtered. This is still the result of being chased and intercepted by a large number of masters. It is clear that the master of the demon slayer intends to drive Liamu Jinyi to Tianxing Mountain. But the strange thing is that Liamu Jinyi had no intention of going to Tianxing Mountain at all, and started a guerrilla war with human masters. Just go around the entrance of Tianxing Mountain, without entering the crown. Gradually, everyone found that the blood of Liamu Jinyi became more and more vigorous. It became more and more difficult to deal with. If he encounters a small group of enemies, Luqi Jinmao will even take the initiative to attack. After a whole day, the number of deaths in the suburbs has broken through in tens of thousands, and the number is still rising in a straight line. The six-eyed golden beast reappears in the world, causing disasters and chaos for the common people. The court has an unshirkable responsibility. It is not good for arrest, and it is even more negative for the people. The demon-slaying division and the ghosts and gods of the immortal division joined forces to arrest them, but it has not worked. The curses from all over the world poured into Kyoto. 3 days later, Emperor Zan of the Ming dynasty issued an edict of guilt. "Wan Fang is guilty, stay here. AICB, follow the current emperor's sin." It took the matter to a whole new level in an instant. Tianxing Mountain Demon Spirit Realm, Bamboo Forest Castle. After Chengqing Wang Yuanshan regained consciousness, he was always in a good mood. Standing in his own hall, he is happy all day long. A black turtle is a black turtle. There is no plan left. Everything is going in the direction we predicted. Now the suburbs are very lively. It's fun. It's just a six-eyed golden beast, but it's really interesting to have so many masters like Yao Jianxi and Gong Xianxi running behind their buttocks. The mysterious tortoise carrying the huge tortoise shell said, "Your Majesty, the six-eyed golden scorpion was released by you. This matter must not be leaked, otherwise the human court will take you at any cost. This king understands, and this king is not stupid. Shuanggui's mission has been completed, now please allow this turtle to leave." Hearing that Zhang was about to leave, King Chengqing frowned, and said, "Haha, what's the hurry, Zhang, you and I are master and servant, we have been in love for many years, so don't leave." Is the king going to go back on his word? Wang Chengqing said. The six-eyed golden dragon has been released, and it will cause chaos in the world, but it is only the beginning, it has not even come up to Tianxing Mountain, let alone get rid of the real dragon in Wolongtan for this king. Shuanggui said. Six-eyed Jinyi has been imprisoned for thousands of years, and there is no 1 in 10 of its strength. It will definitely wait for its own strength to recover at least 50%, and it will come back. Humph, it's quite stable. King Chengqing showed a gratified smile again. It's better to be steady, the real dragon in Wolongtan is not easy to deal with, and this king doesn't want to work in vain. Shuanggui, you can stay at this king's side for a while longer, don't worry, when the six-eyed golden dragon gets rid of the real dragon, then you have to go, the Lord will never force you to stay. Shuanggui fell silent. In fact, it wants to leave early, and it is also because of the love of the master and the servant. It has already calculated that the time limit for the Evergreen King is approaching, and cannot bear to see it fall with its own eyes. However, even a wise person, even a powerful demon king, would not be aware of his own death. Still at ease. Wolongtan. A thin blood-red snake crawled on the shore, respectfully. After a hissing sound. Six-eyed Jinni, do you feed on dragons? After hearing the words, Lin Mu had a strange look on his face. Zhongli asked you to come back to report the news. Could it be that the six-eyed golden beast came here after this ugly snake? Enemy of life and death. The blood-red devil snake nodded. Hee. The dragon is the king of all things, how can it be invincible? Ridiculous. There was a look of contempt in Lin Mu's eyes, he had never heard of the six-eyed golden beast. What? The six-eyed golden lion has appeared again, I'm going to die, run away. The towering willow tree beside the stone bridge suddenly screamed strangely, and thousands of branches swayed. I can't wait to turn into legs and run away. Lin Mu looked at the panic-stricken willow. You ran for a ball, didn't you come to find you? Looking at you like this, you have heard of Liamu Jinni. Willow fell into deep thought and said, when this immortal tree was still a small tree, the six-eyed golden lion was already the scariest monster in Tianxing Mountain. According to seniority, the 4 great deep mountain demon kings are all rising stars, and they are incomparable with the six-eyed golden beast. You are a dragon, you are finished. Willow looked at Lin Mu like a dead person. Question mark. Lin Mu's candle-like pupils flickered coldly, and the six-eyed golden beast might have been very sad. But that was only once. It's all over now. Lin Mu was waiting in Wolongtan, waiting for the other party to come to the door. What about eating a dragon? It's time to see who devours whom. Hiss. The blood-red devil snake howled a few times. You said Zhongli asked me to take the initiative. Lin Mu smiled. It's the judge after all, my heart is for the dawn. The six-eyed golden beast is now causing chaos in the suburbs, slaughtering ordinary people at will. Devour the flesh and blood, restore the calendar. Zhongli is not counting on his own Gong Xianxi, and now counting on him as the master. Lin Mu's most intuitive psychological feeling for Liamu Jinji is. A great merit is on the way. Such an evil, if he cleans it up by himself, the merit will be a reward. Black and white impermanence does not need to work day and night. As a real dragon in the world, any evil spirits, crooked ways. They should all be suppressed by themselves. The human court regards the dragon Lin Mu as a scourge. When the real scourge appears, they should know how gentle they are. Proper 3 good students. Don't make trouble. Don't do anything wrong. Don't kill people, set fire. Only in their own 1-acre 3-point land to develop silently. If the six-eyed golden beast eats the dragon, someone should be more anxious than me. As soon as Lin Mu thought of Cao Cao, Cao Cao arrived. Luo Jinshu from Beishan Yunhu appeared in Wolongtan. She was a little surprised when she saw the towering willow tree for the first time. But after being surprised, he went straight to the topic. Let's join hands. Why join forces? Luo Jinshu was speechless. Don't tell me you don't know something as big as the six-eyed golden lion. Slightly heard. The six-eyed golden rabbit is causing trouble at the foot of the mountain. Countless people have become the nourishment for it to recover its strength. We can't sit still and wait for death. We should take the initiative to attack. Maintaining world peace depends on our two dragons. Luo Jinshu talked about the little stars in his eyes, and felt that this was a great opportunity to show off and attract fans. If Liamu Jinyan is killed, won't the attention be fully raised? Lin Mu originally thought that the lake god would be terrified. After all, her real dragon is full of moisture. But I didn't expect the other party to be excited. What do you want to do? Lin Mu asked lightly. When Luo Jinshu came to Wolongtan, he thought about it, and said, it's simple, the real dragon of my lady will lead the six-eyed golden lion up the mountain, and then you, the dragon, will take it off. As long as you kill the six-eyed golden dragon, you will be a great dragon, and your reputation will be unprecedentedly high. I don't know how many people will be grateful to you, let alone how many people will set up your longevity card. In addition, I can assure you that the imperial court will never regard you as a thorn in the side or a thorn in the flesh. Seeing Luo Jinshu talking non-stop, Lin Mu couldn't help interjecting. There is no need to draw big cakes. Luo Jinshu smiled awkwardly. Aren't I afraid that you won't agree? Just follow what you said. As long as you can lead the six-eyed golden dragon up the mountain, leave the rest to me. In fact, secretly, Lin Mu has already done his calculations with the ability to predict the future. This six-eyed golden beast can see the light of day again. Basically, it is a conspiracy against him. Then everything will naturally end with him. Demon Slayer headquarters. For the past few days, Wei Shuzun has to go into the palace every day. Every time I enter the palace, I will be scolded bloody by the Holy Majesty. If Liamu Jinyi is not dealt with for a day, he will never have a good life. At this time, Wei Shuzun was lounging on the soft couch, enjoying the massage from the Fox Beauty. A pair of wise eyes were half closed, not knowing what to think. It's just that there was a faint energy fluctuation outside the body surface, which continued to intensify. It's frightening. At least the Fox Beauty who was massaging was already sweating profusely, and one fox tail after another emerged from the back of her buttocks over time. A total of 6 furry tails are completely exposed. While being enchanting and colorful, it also indicates how much pressure she is under now. I am afraid that in the near future, even the human form will not be able to be maintained. On weekdays, she would disarm and surrender coquettishly, but now she dare not. The man in front of him was obviously in a bad mood. If you don't do it well, it's easy to get burned. In the past few days, it has been rumored that the strength of the Ming dynasty is not as good as before. Even Liamu Jinyi, who had been imprisoned for thousands of years, escaped, and he couldn't deal with it. I'm afraid I can't sit on the mountain. Sooner or later it will be overthrown. However, after hearing this kind of words, the beautiful fox expressed that she wanted to laugh. Whether the strength of the Ming court has been weakened, she does not know. She only knew that with the man in front of her, the Ming dynasty would be as stable as Mount Tai. The only thing she didn't understand was why the other party would let Liamu Jinmao keep causing trouble outside. It was obvious that the incident was so big, and Emperor Zan of the Ming dynasty issued an edict of sinning himself, but Wei Shuzun had no intention of taking action himself at all. The beauty fox was massaging and pondering. Think about what tricks are hidden in it. But there is another point. She is clear, the bigger the trouble of the six-eyed golden lion, the worse the death. He was locked in prison before, at least he was still alive. Now escape from birth, the harder you toss, the faster you die. If it was her and escaped, Tian Gao Ren Niafei would disappear without a sound. There will never be such a big commotion. What are you fussing about? Liamu Jinyi didn't understand a truth. He was arrested in his heyday. The current strength is far from what it used to be. Do you really want to turn the world upside down? Idiot. Fox Beauty commented in her heart. Press it carefully. Don't think too much about things that you shouldn't think about. Suddenly, Wei Shosho spoke lightly. The fox beauty trembled, and pouted aggrievedly. That beautiful face made any man in the world feel pity. Only the man in front of him didn't even bother to open his eyes to look. My lord, don't look so serious, take back your mighty power a little bit, it's really tiring for me to press against your coercion. Wei Shuzun said indifferently. It's better to be tired. If you are tired, you won't think about tossing around. You monsters keep yourselves in peace, and the world will be peaceful. My lord, although the realm of my family is not as high as yours, my family has already settled down very well. His Royal Highness the Second Prince passed by Qingzhou back then. I didn't want to seduce you, but I just wanted to show the friendship of the landlord and entertain you, and you arrested me. She said that her face was full of grievances, as if she had been wronged as much as she wanted. Wei Shuzun smiled coldly, and didn't want to say anything more about this question, so he suddenly asked, It's been 4 days since the six-eyed Jinni escaped, do you think its strength has almost recovered? Maximum 4 or 5 floors. It is the blood of ancient ferocious beasts. No matter how much blood sucked by ordinary creatures, it will not be able to restore its strength in its heyday. Yeah, so it can only go up the mountain. The deity is waiting to see a good show. Good show. The fox beauty's eyes lit up. Could it be that the First Lord wants to see the six-eyed golden beast devouring the dragon? Who devours who is not sure. Just as he was talking, there was a mighty dragon chant from the ground. The sound of the dragon's chant, like billowing waves, came crashing on the shore. Everyone was shocked. Listen to the voice, it's the Beishan Yunhu monster. Wei Shuzun pricked up his ears and said quietly. Could it be that the six-eyed golden lion has already gone up the mountain? Fox Beauty was talking, but Wei Ji raised his chin at her. She understood, walked to the window, and opened it. This window is facing Tianxing Mountain, and it is clear at a glance after opening. I saw a real golden dragon in Tianxing Mountain soaring upwards and floating in the sky. He exposed his perfect dragon body to the eyes of the world. The First Lord has good ears. Hearing the sound of the dragon chant, he could tell it was the one from Beishan Yunhu Lake. I admire you. There is more than enough courage, but not enough domineering. Even though they are both dragons, there is still a big gap between them. The beautiful fox said, What does our god of the lake want to do? To expose ourselves on our own initiative to provoke the six-eyed golden beast. 0. Seeking flowers, 0. Even if Liamu Jinyi has only recovered 40% to 50% of its strength, it can't be provoked. Just said a good show. The good show is about to start, it's interesting. The corner of Wei Shuzun's mouth was raised slightly, showing an expression of watching the show. In front of the Shanxi town god's temple, a dragon chant attracted all the ghosts and gods out. When everyone saw that it was the real dragon of Beishan Yunhu, they immediately became angry. The city god frowned and said, Didn't the deity let it hide first? It was so good that it also took the initiative to expose itself, because it was worried that the six-eyed golden lion would not be found. This god of the lake has always been very keen on doing good deeds and accumulating virtue. I am afraid that he wants to eliminate harm for the people and cannot bear the continuous tragic death of the people in the suburbs. The idea is very good, but first ask yourself if you have this ability. Do you really think that if you become Jackie Chan, you can look down on the world? I don't know what it means. The city god's words were sharp, and his liver died because of his agitation. In the past few days, Wei Shuzun's life is not very good, and his life as the city god is even more worrying. Too many people died in the suburbs, and many of them turned their grievances into ghosts. The heavens and the earth are clear, and all of a sudden 100 ghosts travel at night. The chaos of a monster is the birth of countless ghosts. The out-of-control situation has completely escaped the control of the city god. Things are going from bad to worse. Now, the dragon in Beishan Yunhu is still jumping out to make trouble. If it has the ability to clean up the six-eyed golden lion, everyone will be happy. But everyone knows that the lake god Hualong was supported by the imperial court. It is impossible to be the opponent of Liamu Jinyi. This is clearly a gift of the head. How can the city god not be angry when he sees it? An area in the suburbs. A monster brimming with energy and blood was staring at Tianxing Mountain. It has a body like a lion, with 6 fierce eyes. The shining golden dragon manifested, like a spotlight shining on him. It's hard to ignore. The six-eyed golden dragon greedily looked at the suspended dragon, and licked its big mouth. Suddenly hungry and thirsty. As soon as it came to the suburbs, it sensed that there were two dragon spirits in Tianxing Mountain. One strong and one weak. It's just that the six-eyed genie didn't dare to slay dragons on the mountain easily before his own strength recovered. It has been suppressing its desire for dragons for the past few days, thereby devouring ordinary creatures. The six-eyed golden beast must first rely on devouring ordinary creatures to recover a certain amount of strength before it can go up the mountain. But now the real dragon was placed in front of Liamu Jinyi, shining brightly. It's like a stunning beauty is gesticulating and waving at you. How can one resist this temptation? It's the weak one. .. Exclamation mark. The six-eyed golden beast roared excitedly. Breathing became more and more heavy, and the bones and muscles of the whole body twisted. It was as if there were chains in the body that were cut off in bursts, and the greedy desire poured into every inch of flesh and bone in the body. It's hard to look up. Dragon, it is too eager to eat dragons. Devoured the dragon that stood proudly above all things. It can be reborn and complete the promotion of its own blood. From the first day Liamu Jinyi was born in this world, what it pursued was to devour dragons. I keep telling myself in my heart that the reality has not recovered yet. Waiting. However, now the real dragon is shining in front of his eyes. The impact was too strong. It's off. Ow. The six-eyed golden dragon roared again towards the dragon floating in Tianxing Mountain, and his blood was burning all over his body. The roar spread far away, and layers of space were turbulent and distorted. Hostility and bloodthirsty filled the wild. At this moment, the six-eyed golden beast turned into a terrifying tornado, sweeping towards Tianxing Mountain like a wolf's smoke. Only after going up the mountain. Also following Liamu Jinyi's uphill, he immediately brought the eyes of the world up. The real dragon manifests, slays demons and eliminates demons. It's the kind of story script that a lot of people want to see. At least the people in the suburbs have tears of excitement in their eyes. In just a few days, hundreds of villages were wiped out because of the six-eyed golden beast. The six-eyed golden beast is born with a hostile spirit, and it is not just the kind of superficial terror. Bloodthirsty viciousness oozes in its bones. God of the lake, who saves the suffering, please kill that monster. People in the suburbs, old and young, women and children all looked up at the suspended real dragon and kowtowed in worship. Prayed desperately. Countless powers of faith flooded into Beishan Yunhu, invisible like a tide. It greatly enhanced the prestige of the real dragon, the god of the lake, among the people. 5:30. This scene was what the imperial court wanted to see. As the fairy god proclaimed by the imperial court, the god of lake also represents the imperial court. If he could really kill the six-eyed golden beast, it could be said that the people's aspirations would be great, and everyone would be happy. However, in the minds of many discerning people, it is obvious that this god still lacks a little morality. The six-eyed golden beast, as the peerless monster of the last era, was once the scariest monster in Tianxing Mountain, but it was not so easy to deal with. Even if the strength is not inferior to the heyday, it should not be underestimated. In a blink of an eye, the whole picture of Yinji appeared in Beishan Yunhu. At this moment, an unstoppable killing spirit swept out wantonly. The monsters in the surrounding mountains and forests are all dormant, terrified and fearful. Even many monsters with insufficient cultivation could feel this terrifying killing aura. The body exploded directly on the spot, turning into a burst of blood mist. Jia, a real dragon, so delicious dragon flavor. The six-eyed golden dragon manifested a huge body of several tens of feet, like a hill above the clouds. Shaped like a lion with 6 eyes and 6 eyes, it is ferocious and terrifying. It greedily looked at the floating real dragon, glowing green. The weird long tongue licked his lips, and the excited breathing began to be heavy. Six-eyed golden dragon, you wantonly slaughtered ordinary creatures, heinous crime, let's see how this dragon suppresses you. The suspended real dragon moved, and an unstoppable force of the dragon exploded on the spot. A dragon's breath like a volcanic eruption rushed towards the six-eyed golden lion. The temperature between the sky and the earth rose instantly. The six-eyed golden dragon actually didn't dodge, and his whole body like a giant swallowed the dragon's breath. When the dragon's breath dissipated, the six-eyed golden beast was unscathed. What? The levitating dragon was visibly taken aback. Gia, 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 it's my turn to make a move. .. Exclamation mark. I only heard it roar fiercely in the mountains and forests. A powerful evil spirit enveloped the suspended real dragon like a black mist. This cloud of black mist was so heavy that it seemed that the entire sky was being suppressed, and the air became oppressive, making one's liver and gallbladder split. Let the real dragon teeter in the sky. Immediately there was fatigue. The golden dragon's body became dimmed. Overwhelming. This scene shocked many people who eat melons. How big is the gap? It is the nether chi, the unique method of the six-eyed golden lion, a special method that combines the world's yin chi, turbid chi, evil chi, corpse chi, hostile chi, and poisonous chi. The reason why the six-eyed golden lion can become a peerless monster is largely due to this unique ghost spirit. The spirit of the nether world has a terrible oppressive force on everything. I didn't expect that even a real dragon can't hold it back. Someone with rich experience poured out the truth. The so-called peerless monster is not just a simple sentence. There must be enough real materials. Dragon, you are too weak, the weak ones can only be eaten by Ben. Liamu Jinyi succeeded in one move, and said ferociously. In the greedy green pupils, a hint of surprise and puzzlement flashed vaguely. How could there be such a weak dragon in the world? So how did the weak become a dragon? These are two big question marks. It's not that it hasn't faced real dragons in the world, and even lost in its heyday. Fiasco. Therefore, after escaping from birth, Liamu Jinyi came to the suburbs and dared not go up the mountain. In its view, Dragon Devourer needs confidence. But how could Liamu Jinyi think that the real dragon in this world is so weak right now? The weak ones are even a little vulnerable. The weak ones only have a dragon skin 0. Even his own ghostly spirit couldn't resist it at all. At this moment, the six-eyed golden beast couldn't help thinking that if he devoured it, it might not necessarily make his bloodline advance. At most restore a few layers of strength. It's over, it's over. The people in the suburbs felt like the sky was falling and the earth was falling when they saw their late god being suppressed by the six-eyed golden beast. It feels like the end of the world is coming. There is no light in the eyes, no hope in sight. If even the real dragon is not the opponent of Liamu Jinyi, who can save the common people? However, at this moment, 0L, an earth-shattering dragon chant soared into the sky. Between fibrous roots, in the entire Yunhu Lake, the entire Tianxing Mountain, and the entire suburb, there is only this resounding dragon chant resounding. It seems that the appearance of this voice is specially designed to free people who cannot see hope from the darkness. Afterwards, a wave of heavenly dragon's power spread out, carrying an irresistible coercion. Okay. This dragon power. Six-eyed Jinyi's heart trembled, somehow reminding him of Jilong who defeated him. Such a powerful Longwei. Its ghostly aura instantly dissipated. Six-eyed Jinji, your opponent is my dragon, don't make a mistake. A cold voice came down from the sky. Liamujin 4.2 suddenly raised his head, and saw a huge dragon head domineeringly exposed in front of the clouds. The huge and winding dragon body undulates looming in the clouds. Each scale glows like precious jade, flowing with unrivaled majesty. Majestic and dignified, with extraordinary appearance. The pair of golden pupils on the dragon's head are like two calm lakes, staring at it indifferently and aloofly. Overlord the world and look down upon all things. Six-eyed Jinyi unexpectedly became flustered and numb. This is the mighty dragon in Tianxing Mountain. But they are all dragons, so why do they feel so different? The weak are too weak, the strong are too strong. The powerful dragon in front of him has already given Lu Qichuan a very strong sense of crisis. Its body trembled uncontrollably. It's the real dragon from Wolongtan. The people who eat melons in Sifengtiandi suddenly became excited. As a fetish that the people look up to, the dragon has always held a high status. Originally, the dragon in Beishan Yunhu was suppressed by Liamu Jinyan, which made the atmosphere of the scene drop to freezing point. That is to say, many people have no hope at all. But ordinary people know what. They felt that the real dragon was invincible and would definitely be able to kill the six-eyed golden dragon. However, in the case of a dragon losing, another true dragon manifests. He appeared from the clouds, and he was so domineering and invincible. His majesty is extraordinary, and every dragon scale in his gestures is so majestic. Did you see that the six-eyed golden lion seems to be scared? The dragon that ascends the heavenly gate is indeed more reliable than the dragon that leaps over the dragon's gate. The newly promoted Snake King, with the fastest speed in history, walks into the dragon and transforms into a dragon, and his combat power really explodes. Numerous concerned people eating melons began to discuss lively. Undoubtedly, the next battle, no matter what the outcome is, it will become the talk of the whole Kyoto, and even the whole world after dinner. Those who can see this battle with their own eyes are also satisfied for a lifetime. My God, it's so handsome. How can there be such a handsome dragon? Its horns, its beard, every scale on its body is shining brightly. Those noble ladies in the capital looked at the dragon revealed in front of the clouds obsessively, and their eyes began to draw. As for the six-eyed golden beast, that ferocious description is simply an evil ghost climbing up from hell. Ugly. For a long time after that, people in the aristocratic circle of the capital paid a lot of money to buy the scales of the real dragon in Wolongtan. Even at the expense of exchanging a mansion for a dragon scale. It's a pity that there is a price but no market. Of course, these are things for later. Now, everyone's eyes are on the real dragon of Wolongtan. High hopes for it. The lake god of Baishan Yunhu quietly exited the stage. Before absorbing a wave of prestige, it is now fragmented. The six-eyed golden dragon looked up at the majestic dragon in the cloud with a green light. Try to suppress the unwarranted fear in your heart. Suddenly, the whole sky suddenly became dark, with thunder and lightning. Crash. There was rain and snow falling. It is rain and snow, ice and hail. When the rain, snow and hail fell, they all turned into sharp knives. Cut towards Liamu Jinyan. There is no way to hide, no way to avoid. Okay, how can this kind of spell hurt me? The fierce roar of the six-eyed golden beast was ignored at all. However, the next moment, his whole body was in severe pain, and he was in the midst of being hacked into pieces. What? Can you hurt me? The six-eyed golden lion was shocked, and in a blink of an eye, its whole body was covered with scars. Good means, good supernatural powers, calling wind and rain, snow and hail, are all sharp weapons to hurt people. The eyes of the people eating melons brightened. They had heard that the real dragon was still the new king of snakes. It will call the wind and call the rain. It also rained heavily on the outskirts several times, relieving the local Mikado. Now, twisting your fingers softly can also make steel. It is not surprising that rain, snow and hail turned into sharp blades, but it can hurt the six-eyed golden lion, which shows the profound magic power of Taoism. The six-eyed golden beast didn't dare to push it too hard. The spirit of the netherworld surged, forming a dark light curtain to protect itself. Six-eyed Jinyi, you have committed a serious crime. It would be good if you were punished by thunder. How are you? The six-eyed Jin Yan looked bewildered. Does this still bring the Emperor Shang? Ah! It roared angrily, with a fierce look, and was about to fly up into the sky. However, boom! A piece of jet black was pushed in front of the real dragon from all directions. In the depths, the thunder light can be vaguely seen flickering on and off. Immediately after a thunderstorm, the world shook violently. In the next instant, a terrifying thunder column pierced the Tongtian ground. Like a sharp sword piercing the ground. Before the six-eyed Jinyi had time to react, he was surrounded by Thunder Lord. The terrifying power of thunder and lightning erupted instantly, destroying everything. 5. The six-eyed golden beast let out a painful scream. This scene shocked the world even more. In charge of thunder and punishment, one thought of 9 heavens and 9 heavens. What a terrible means of attack. Make people hard to guard against. This is the thunder method that the real dragon should master. The brutal six-eyed golden beast could only be beaten passively. Damn it, it's my turn to make a move. The six-eyed golden beast roared angrily, his whole body shook, and the pillar of thunder disappeared between heaven and earth. It stomped on the ground, and the entire terrifying body shot up. Any decisive battle, when the enemy is at the commanding heights, is very deadly. You can only be beaten, and you are naturally at a disadvantage. Liamu Jinyi understands this truth. It is ferocious, and can tolerate being played and applauded by opponents. Whoever allows you to come up, get out of here. The real dragon in front of the cloud let out a soft drink, and a dragon's tail in a turbulent sea was exposed. An overwhelming slap landed on Liamu Jinyi's body. The six-eyed golden beast let out a pain, and instantly turned into a meteorite, smashing towards a forest. The earth shakes and the mountains shake. Roar. The six-eyed golden beast who stood up again roared into the sky, and shot up again. However, it is still the dragon tail that can overwhelm the river and sea to meet it. Carrying the power to shake the heavens and the earth, hit it firmly. That kind of crisp and painful voice is refreshing. Okay, it's a good shot, it's enjoyable, did you see it? This is the legendary dragon wagging its tail, and it's about to turn the six-eyed golden lion into a meat paste. Countless voices of applause resounded from every corner of the world. Everyone doesn't want to see an evenly matched battle, they just want to see this overwhelming tyranny. In just a few days, Liamu Jinji slaughtered hundreds of villages in suburban District 043. Tens of thousands of innocent people died. Such a ferocious beast should receive the most severe torture. Only in this way can everyone get a bad breath. You really know how to buy people's hearts. These words came from the mouth of Wei Shuzun, the demon slayer. The more the dragon in Wulongtan abuses Liamu Jinji, the more its prestige among the people will rise. Because it is venting for those dead people. The city god of Gongshanxi paid close attention to this battle. He couldn't help but think of the approval document he had issued when the dragon walked away and experienced 72 days of calamity. You must die but not die. Either he will be the savior of the world in the future, or he will be a peerless evildoer, affecting the vitality of the Ming dynasty. City God has always felt that the other party is the latter, so he will try his best to target him. Because there is no need for a snake in the world of the Ming dynasty, the savior of Longchang, the national map. Isn't this a big joke in the world? Isn't it absurd? However, this idea is now gradually beginning to waver. Such an imposing real dragon possesses the power of a heavenly dragon. You insist on seeing it as a peerless evildoer. It is also unfair. At least the other party has not done anything to disrupt the common people so far. If the other party is also the same as the lake god of Beishan Yunhu Lake, he will be conferred as a fairy by the imperial court, issued a yellow book, and will be worshipped by the world. Or a happy situation. Could Wei Yan be right? Lord Chengwang couldn't help asking. At the beginning, Wei Shuzun, who was the demon-slaying division, would kill the opponent's new Snake King when he followed Zhao. But when the snake stood in front of the gate of heaven. But it is guaranteed by killing. It's just a snake demon or a dragon, no matter how many you kill, it won't hurt. But the appearance of a real dragon has epic-making significance. Wei Yan saw it clearly. Dragon fetish. It's out of the realm of demons. At least, the scene of the real dragon ravaging the six-eyed golden dragon in front of him is shocking enough. Forget it, if the other party can get rid of the six-eyed golden beast, the deity will not care about it. City God looked at Tianxing Mountain with deep eyes. As long as the real dragon does not become an evil dragon, let it be. Bamboo Forest Castle in the demon world. King Chengqing paid more attention to the battle at Beishan Yunhu than anyone else. Watching the six-eyed golden beast that he had painstakingly robbed was being brutalized by the real dragon. Chengqing Wang's entire face turned into a pig's liver. Six-eyed Jinji, what are you doing? I saved you to let you devour the dragon, not to be abused by the dragon. Take out your abilities as a peerless monster. You are a six-eyed golden beast, how can you be so unbearable? Don't think about rushing to the sky, the other party won't give you this chance, make a move. The majestic demon king of the deep mountain has no airs at all at this moment, and he is swearing everywhere. Just like a football fan, more excited than anyone else. Can't wait to take command. However, the development of the situation, after all, runs counter to what Wang Chengqing imagined. The commotion in Beishan Yunhu became louder and louder. The real Longan's eyes hidden in the clouds are like stars and moons, shining brightly against the snow. The communications of great gods that shake the world are at their fingertips, emerging one after another. All the six-eyed golden lion can do is keep roaring and screaming. In its heyday, it fought against real dragons in the world. The end of the defeat was to be imprisoned for nearly 1,000 years. This time, he fought against the real dragon of the world again. Although not the same. But the result seems to be the same. If you lose again, I am afraid that you will not be imprisoned, but you will have to sacrifice your life. Hey, I won't lose again. The battle is just starting now. The six-eyed golden beast raised its head to the sky and roared. But what greeted it was a piercing pillar of thunder piercing through it. The flickering light covered the eyes of the world. The huge monster in front of the cloud looked down from top to bottom with a dragon face covered with a golden face, and Dado joked. While the thoughts were turning, thunder and thunder appeared everywhere, and they landed in an endless stream. All are paid by Liamu Jinyi. Standing on the commanding heights, Tomioka has been shown. The so-called battle is so easy. The so-called peerless monster is so vulnerable. At least, Lin Xian thought so. At least, the people watching the battle and the people in the suburbs are already shouting desperately. Kill it, kill it, kill Liamu Jinyi. Lin Mu said that this wish is too simple. A dragon tail with shocking power swept across the river and sea. He entangled the six-eyed golden dragon so tightly that he couldn't move. It hung in midair like a crane tail. Attract the attention of the world. I give you death with the divine sword. Death. Seeing the real dragon in front of the cloud, he opened his mouth and spat out. A shining, cold purple sword flashed out. Constant rotation. Keep getting bigger. In full view. It turned into a gigantic sword several tens of feet long, and pierced it from top to bottom toward the six-eyed golden sword. The whole process is not fast, it seems to be played back in slow motion. Under the gaze of countless pairs of eyes, they watched the divine sword approaching the head of the six-eyed golden dragon. The killing intent on the sword's edge, even across thousands of mountains and rivers, can make people shudder. This seat has not been defeated yet. It is impossible for this seat to be defeated like this. True dragon, don't you want to openly kill me? The six-eyed golden beast roared angrily and struggled desperately. Not reconciled. If it is at its full strength, it cannot be so bad. Quote. The divine sword was inserted into the head of Liamu Jinyi. A little bit of advancement, hidden between the blood and flesh. Accompanied by the severe pain, the entire world is full of sick and comprehensive voices. Look, the beast is going to be killed, it's so enjoyable to watch. Such a live broadcast, such a heart-warming scene, made the world's blood boil with excitement. There is nothing more exciting than the public execution of Liamu Jinyi. That divine sword seemed to be held in everyone's hands and inserted into the head of the six-eyed golden dragon with their own hands. Dripping freely. Quote. There was a roar, one after another. However, when the divine sword was completely inserted into the ferocious body of the six-eyed golden dragon, a burst of light brightened. A small sun shot out from the six-eyed golden lion's body. Flee towards the sky. Not good. The primordial spirit is out of the body, and the six-eyed Jinyi has to give up his physical body in order to survive. Someone exclaimed. However, a dragon body that seems to be boundless and winding is swimming in the sky. Surrounded Liamu Jinyi Yuenshin in groups, trapped in the minister. The huge dragon face was full of contempt. Yuenshin fled. It looks so ugly, but it looks so beautiful. The dragon's mouth opened, like an endless abyss and black hole, and swallowed it towards the six-eyed golden beast's primordial spirit. No. Real dragon, you can't swallow me. Liamu Jinyi never imagined that he pursued dragon eating all his life. The last one was devoured by the dragon. When that dragon's mouth is closed, everything will end with it. The six-eyed golden dragon died. Ha ha ha. The six-eyed golden lion is dead, dead, the disaster is over. The excitement of a mountain roar and tsunami erupted in the suburbs. A pair of eyes full of tears, looking up at the real dragon winding in the sky. One by one desperately kowtowed. At this moment, thousands of villages in the entire suburb will become the most loyal believers of Wolongtan True Dragon. At this moment, even in the capital, from the nobles to the rich and idle, they are all willing to become fans of Zhenlong. The fetish of the dragon, the hero of the cover. Prestige reached an unprecedented level. Now, in the eyes of the world, the real dragon floating in the sky is so perfect and noble. There is not a single flaw or weakness to be found in the whole body, and the whole body is perfect. Every scale exudes the majesty of ruling the world. Extraordinary and extraordinary. Look, what's that? As the real dragon devoured the soul of the six-eyed golden dragon, endless exposures appeared in the sky, Baosha, Shangyan and Ruichi. Running through the southeast and northwest, the hype is displayed. The sky on the other side of Baishan Yunhu Lake is suddenly beautiful and dazzling. Immediately, a massive amount of holy light landed on the real dragon. The merits and virtues descended from the sky, the whole world celebrates together. I only heard that in the imperial palace, Ming Xuanwang, the ninth five-year emperor, laughed loudly when he saw this scene. Slaying the six-eyed golden beast is rewarded by the gods, how can I do nothing? Come to draft a purpose. Not long after, in the inner palace of the Forbidden City, a yellow book of imperial decree carried the mighty grace of the emperor and drifted towards Tianqing Mountain, shining brightly in the snow. As the yellow imperial edict floated mightily in the sky, a solemn sound resounded between the heaven and the earth. Following the fate of heaven, the emperor said, the snake king of Tianqing Mountain, with the body of a snake, climbs to the gate of heaven and transforms into a dragon, kills the peerless monster six-eyed golden scorpion, saves the people of dawn from water and fire. Candles can be used for offering sacrifices, clay sculptures can be built for temples, and incense can be received by ordinary people. There is no need to thank you, I respect this. As soon as this imperial decree announced to the world came out, people in the world were shocked instantly. Oh my God, Emperor Mingxuan personally issued an imperial decree to seal the fairy spirit. This is a precedent that has never been done before. You must know that the lake god of Yunhu Lake in Beishan is also a fairy, but he was only appointed by the imperial court and cabinet. The meaning is completely different. Really long Tian candle, sky candle. Many people couldn't hide their horror when they heard this name. Even if it is Wei Shuzun of the Monster Slayer Division, and the city god of the Immortal Division. Hearing this name, everyone was also very surprised. Taking Tian as the surname and Jiju as the name, this fame is too great. You must know that the emperor of the ninth five-year is the heavenly family, and the candle means that the sun and the moon shine together and illuminate. Ming Xuanwang seems to have high hopes for the real dragon in Wolongtan. I hope this real dragon can prop up the sky for the Ming dynasty, and erect a beam of light in this turbid world. Emperor Zan of the Ming dynasty deserves to be the emperor who most resembles the founding emperor. Swallow mountains and rivers with anger, wise and powerful. It turned out to be a favor, so he directly filled up the gift. Definitely not petty. In addition, Ming Xuanwang also has a warning meaning. Nuo Li is good. I hope that the real dragon of Wolongtan will not go astray in the future because of the evil dragon. Don't let me down. Let down the high expectations of the people of the world. Be a real dragon who sets his heart for the world and lives for the people. When this holy decree was under the shocked eyes of the people all over the world, they arrived in front of the real dragon hanging in the sky in Tianqing Mountain. However, what everyone is curious about now is, too, the real dragon of Wolongtan, faced with such a will it accept or not? If you pick it up, you will become the real dragon of the Ming dynasty. After receiving it, he drew a clear line with the monster clan in Tianqing Mountain. But the emperor's kindness is mighty. Tell the world, if you don't accept it. That is to openly slap Ming Xuanwang in the face. You are against the entire Ming dynasty. This is a choice of position. Accept, 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 quickly accept the order. Many people in the suburbs were screaming with their fists pulled. Countless pairs of eyes eagerly looked up at the winding real dragon in the clouds in the sky. As long as the real dragon accepts the decree, the Tianjia will be able to believe in the sky in the future. Set up the longevity card and become the most loyal believer of the real dragon in Wolongtan. Without needing to be sneaky. As long as the real dragon receives the order, the people all over the world will start to build temples at the same time. Really long Tian Candle Temple. There is one more true god in the world. Demon Slayer Headquarters. The beauty fox watched the scene where the real dragon faced the imperial edict with great interest, and said with a charming smile, "My lord, do you think it will accept the imperial edict?" Wei Shuzun asked lightly, "If it were you, would you accept such an order?" Naturally, the slave family accepted the order. There are only advantages and no disadvantages in this matter. Idiots will not do it. Today's emperor personally canonized, this kind of treatment is not common. As a six-tailed fox, she can only be envious and jealous. Then it's over, as long as it doesn't look like it. Wei Shosho laughed. In this world, no matter if it is a monster or a ghost, no matter how advanced you are. Turn your hands into clouds and turn your hands into rain. You have to understand a simple truth. This is the world that the Ming dynasty ruled. The human race ruled all over the world, 9 heavens and 10 lands. It is a supreme honor to be canonized as a fairy. What is a fairy is not only a 467 god, but also an animal fairy. You are an officially designated animal fairy, you can walk sideways. It is enshrined and believed by countless people. There is no reason to refuse at all. And since the founding of the Ming dynasty, the first fairy spirit to be canonized, the world may forget who it is. It is the demon slayer sitting in front of him. Looking down on the demons in the world, Wei Yan Wei Shuzun, who is in charge of the leader. For Shanxi, city god once again remembered the approval document he had issued. All the signs prove his previous approval. It's the former, not the latter. As long as the real dragon in Wulongtan accepts the order. That's it. It's not bad for the human race to have an extra god to protect the people. The obsession in the heart of the city god also disappeared. He began to smile, waiting quietly for the dragon to receive the order. Zhongli, the third-rank judge in the main hall, was very excited now, shouting desperately in his heart, "Master, accept the order quickly, accept the order." After receiving the decree, everything is completely different. What can he do if he openly goes to Wulongtan in the future? In the future, the secrets of oneself will be discovered. And what can anyone say? Bamboo Forest Castle in the demon world. King Chengqing was already in despair when he saw Liamu Jinyi being killed. Its plan to kill with a knife failed again. After tossing and tossing, in the end, he is just a clown. But when the imperial decree of the emperor of the human race appeared, King Chengqing also shouted with countless voices, "Receive the decree, quickly receive the decree. If you dare to accept this your dragon is a traitor of the monster clan, and you will fight against the monsters of the entire Tianxing mountain." This king can justifiably call on all the monster clan forces to crusade against you, and you can accept the order if you have the ability. King Chengqing seems to feel that there is another village in the dark. Many monsters in Tianxing mountain are wanted by the human race. As long as the real dragon accepts the order, the family can fight against the enemy. Shuangui, you can tell me a fortune teller again. Lin Mu bathed in the mass of merits, and Yinhuang's dragon scales turned into scales of merits. The Taoism in the body also skyrocketed. The primordial spirit of the six-eyed golden beast was not devoured in vain. It can bring at least tens of thousands of years of improvement to Lin Mu. But Lin Mu didn't have time to feel the benefits all these brought to his body. An imperial decree emitting a strong holy light hung brilliantly before his eyes. The imperial decree comes with the majesty of the emperor, rushing towards his face. The sound of the decree resounding from heaven and earth also reached Lin Mu's ears. Tianzhu, he has an extra name for no reason. No thanks. Lin Mu couldn't help but smile indifferently. Emperor Zan of the Ming dynasty issued a decree, and set up a step for himself first. You must know that anyone who accepts the order must go to the government to give thanks. This is etiquette, also called return gift. But for Lin Mu, will Sha Yi go? Naturally disdained to go. He didn't forget that the emperor of the human race had ordered the snake before. I thank you for the stun. The will in front of me, accept or not. In fact, there is no difficult choice for Lin Mu. He came to this world, was reborn as a snake, and now transforms into a dragon. Regardless of whether it is a snake body or a dragon body, his attitude has always held the idea of entering the water with the human race and not interfering with the river. Worrying about transvestites going the other way, the imperial court eradicated dissidents BBDC. The same is true. Demon Killing Division and Gongxian Division also targeted Lin Mu very much before. However, as Lin Mu ascended to the gate of heaven and transformed into a dragon, the attitude of the human court also changed. Because the dragon is a god and monster in the world. The court clothes worn by the emperor are also dragon robes, which are embroidered with dragon patterns. The human race has always used dragons as their totems. So strictly speaking, there is no such thing as a transvestite. This time, Lin Mu, the dragon, blatantly killed the peerless murderous six-eyed golden beast, and his prestige reached an unprecedented level. Emperor Ming Zan followed suit. The imperial court could no longer control the people's determination to believe in the real dragon of Wulongtan. If you are doing something illegal, I am afraid that the people of the world will be alienated from the imperial court. Right now, Emperor Zan of the Ming Dynasty announced to the world that Lin Mu, the dragon, canonized as a fairy. It can be sacrificed, temples can be built, clay sculptures can be used, and beliefs can be believed. It seemed extremely clever. The common people will only think that Emperor Mingzan is wise and powerful, and understands what everyone wants. It can be said that it has received a wave of people's hearts invisibly. Instead, he kicked the ball to Lin Mu. Lin Mu's refusal to accept the decree and the canonization means that he is on the opposite side of the human race. Then don't blame the court for targeting you in the future. Take it, take it, take it. Lin Mu heard a lot of roaring and tsunami sound invisibly. They are all looking forward to his real dragon receiving the order. It can be said that everyone is at heart. However, Lin Mu's golden candle-like pupils opened and closed, exuding an unrivaled majesty. The momentum of the dragon on his body is rising steadily, stirring the whole sky like boiling water. With boiling up, HMPH. Ask the vast land, who is in charge of ups and downs. He, Lin Mu, has ascended to the heavenly gate and transformed into a dragon, transcending the ordinary to become a saint, and Anid is attached to the court of the human race. No matter how big the world is, it's just north, south, east, and west. No matter how many enemies there are only 4 types: humans, gods, demons, and ghosts. He, the dragon, wants to surpass all things, above the 9 heavens. Only in this way is it worthwhile to come to this world for a walk. Accept order. Wanfang pays attention. Roar. I only heard the roar of the real dragon, and the world was in turmoil. The imperial decree suspended in the air was instantly annihilated, dissipated and invisible. What? The real dragon dares to destroy the imperial decree, resisting the decree and not obeying it, am I right? Suddenly, the people of the world were shocked. All of them looked at the real dragon revealed in front of the clouds with horrified eyes. No one expected this result. Blatantly destroying the emperor's imperial decree. So rebellious, so arrogant. But unexpectedly, people couldn't help raising the heart of worship from the depths of their souls. This is the true dragon that stands tall in the world. Don't even try to control the emperor of the human race. Countless pairs of horrified gazes unconsciously transformed into obsessive admiration and awe. This is the legendary dragon fetish. Above all things. Sacrosanct. The real dragon of Wulongtan reached the strongest, most exciting, and peak moment in his life at this moment. Especially the monsters of Tianxing Mountain are completely convinced by the king of the Snake Clan. Everyone can't help but feel a sense of sympathy with it. If it is said that Lin Mu killed the 6-eyed golden beast, countless people would believe in him. Then destroying the imperial decree at this moment and rejecting the canonization of the human emperor is to gain the approval of the Tianxing Mountain monster clan. His prestige is close to that of the 4 great mountain demon kings, even surpassing it. How dare he be so disobedient? The deity's approval is indeed right. This dragon's disobedience will only affect the fate of my Ming dynasty. Seeing that the real dragon had destroyed the imperial decree, the god of the city god, who offered to the immortal division, immediately became furious. The coercion of Yipan Junction surged out endlessly. Make the whole town god's temple slow down, get up. The immortal calms his wrath. All the ghosts and gods knelt down and bowed down in terror. No one thought that the real dragon in Wulongtan would blatantly destroy the emperor's imperial decree. This scene can be said to subvert the 3 views of the world. He was canonized as a fairy by the emperor himself, and became the true god that the people of the world looked up to. This is something that many people dream of. From now on, not only will he not be targeted by the human court, but he will also be extremely honorable. The human emperor also bestowed the name Tianju, such a great title, even if the city god met the real dragon in the future. All should be courteous and give enough face. But that dragon is so ignorant. The ghost Shendu in the hall was very angry. Immortal chief, that dragon seems to be inflated. It really thinks that if you kill the 6-eyed golden beast, you can ignore the imperial court. 10 walks will give it a heavy lesson. Yes, that's right, it's nothing more than a dragon, and it's impossible to turn against the sky. I will ask Shanxi to control yin and yang, and drive away evil spirits. It's hard to tolerate such a lawless dragon. Elder Immortal, just give an order. Let that Nalong know that the sky is beyond the sky, and there are people beyond people. How can the dignity of the emperor be trampled on? The killing intent that had been suppressed by the city god returned to his place again, and he said with a gloomy face, "Where is the judge of the yin law?" Immediately, a majestically dressed judge in a red robe, holding a book of life and death in his left hand and a soul-hunting pen in his right, stood up majestically and bowed to the aloof city god. "Immortal Elder, the next official is here. Fan Zongyan, a magistrate of the Yin Law, is in charge of the case investigation department, rewards the good and punishes the evil, manages life and death, and has the most power in the past and the present. He holds the book of life and death and the ecstasy pen in his hand, and he only needs to tick a little bit on the book of life and death with the ecstasy pen. For the creatures in this world, who deserves to die and who deserves to live is only a moment away. I order you to tick off Nalong's lifespan on the life-death spectrum, so that his soul will return to the west, and he will not be reborn." The city god gave the order coldly, with no intention of killing. Fan Zongyan took a deep breath. Although he has the right to control life and death, this right cannot be easily changed. It goes against the order of yin and yang in heaven and earth. Unless it is a big treachery, you should not easily deprive a living being of its lifespan and make it die. However, city god's order was aimed at Nalong, who blatantly destroyed the emperor's imperial decree. He has nothing to say. Fan Zongyan was about to flip through the life and death book in his hand, but he heard a soft drink. "Wait a minute, Judge Fan." Fan Zongyan looked intently, only to see that the person speaking was Zhongli, the evil judge in purple robes. Zhongli strode out, looking businesslike, and said to the city god, "Immortal chief, although Nalong committed a heinous crime and refused to obey the order, his lifespan is determined by God. Even though we are ghosts and gods, we cannot easily deprive us of other lifespans. Let his soul return to the west, which is against the cycle of yin and yang." Judge Zhang is accusing this deity of disobeying the rules. City god looked at Zhongli coldly. "The lower officials dare not, but I am afraid that this move must be reported to the emperor for a decision." After Zhongli finished speaking, his lips were tightly closed. Faintly, the lips trembled slightly. He knew that it was very inappropriate for him to stand up and say this now, and he might even offend the city god. But Zhongli had to. He has long been exorcised and reduced to the benevolence of the real dragon. When the master lives, he lives. When the master dies, he must perish. No matter what the reason is, he must stand up resolutely and stop it. HMPH, do you think His Majesty will disagree? Ni Long blatantly destroyed Ming Xuanwang's canonization. I am afraid that His Majesty Long Yan would have been furious long ago. The city god stared at Zhongli again. Even if His Majesty disagrees, as a righteous god, I absolutely have the right to make a decision. Elder Immortal, even if you want to punish Nalong, you don't need to use such an extreme method. I am willing to go to the mountains again to capture Nalong in Wolongtan. Zhongli pleads. Back off. City god just said 3 words lightly. Immortal Elder. Judge Zhang, please step down. An overwhelming coercion of a righteous god fell on Zhongli. His mind was agitated under the pressure, and he couldn't help trembling. Yes. Zhongli could only step back reluctantly. He knew that the city god was furious, and it was useless to say anything. I can't help feeling a little suspicious in my heart. His Majesty the Emperor has not moved yet, why are you so pale? Zhongli didn't know about the psychological struggle of city god. Originally, I persuaded myself not to target that dragon, and felt that my approval was inclined to the former. Ask for flowers. Just wanted to try and take in that dragon. But in the blink of an eye, reality was slapped severely by the dragon. How can you become angry from embarrassment? Judge Fan, it's up to you. After Zhongli withdrew, city god spoke to Fan Zongyan again. Fan Zongyan nodded, and began to open the life and death spectrum in his hand with his eyes like lightning. Start browsing to find Nalong's information. But the strange thing is that after searching for a long time, I was sweating profusely. No information about the Nalong in Wolongtan was found on the life and death spectrum. Impossible, impossible, Fan Zongyan murmured to himself, turning faster and faster, until finally he closed the book of life and death with horrified eyes. 0. He said something that shocked the entire hall. Immortal Elder, Nalong's information is not recorded on the life and death tree. What? The ghosts from all walks of life couldn't believe their ears, as if a thunderbolt from the blue was a blow to the head. City God was also very surprised. Zhongli's eyes lit up. You must know that all creatures in the world, regardless of human beings, gods, demons, and ghosts, cannot break free from the shackles of yin and yang. All will be recorded on the life and death spectrum. No one can be an exception. Unless the other party has jumped out of the three realms and is in the ugly world. Then you will be free from the constraints of the spectrum of life and death, and transcend the three realms. You sure? City God took a deep breath, and looked deeply at Fan Zhongyan, the judge of the Yin Law. Official confirmation. Although Fan Zhongyan didn't want to admit it, the reality was like this. Afterwards, the entire hall was silent for several minutes. All kinds of ghosts and gods began to whisper to each other. However, Nalong has not been long since ascending to the heaven gate and transforming into a dragon. It is impossible to cultivate to become a detached creature that can jump out of the three realms and not be in the five elements. What is the problem in the middle? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.